Jesus. Yeah, good morning. Welcome to the program this morning. This is Bystanders at the Newsstands. I'm Christian Chuko with this wonderful program. We are right at Abiodun Jago Street, and behind me is the newspaper stand. We have the bystanders here looking at the reports we have on the newspaper. So many people are here this morning, and we are looking at the situation of the country currently, what is going to happen. Today is the day, the deadline for the return of the old Naira notes and the usage of the old Naira notes as directly given by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Supreme Court has already given a judgment, an ex parte on the federal government not to continue with the deadline. Central Bank has come there's a broadcast yesterday from the Central Bank governor who said that they are going to continue with the deadline despite the Supreme Court order. Why is it so? Why says Central Bank keeps mum on Supreme Court order, blames the new note scarcity on the hoarding. Central Bank of Nigeria keeps mum on Supreme Court order, blame new note scarcity on the hoarding. Your money is safe. NDIC assures depositors cashless policy may affect troops in the field. That is a security agency, National Security Advisor. None of 36 governors with you on move against currency swap. Abaseki tell Refinery. Not all 36 governors with you on the move against the currency swap. Atiku Nkanu promises to restore its commercial status. Tinubu encouraging his aides to attack Buhari. He says Buhari leads APC campaign in Sokoto, present Tinubu to Sultan. As Buhari begins May 29 exit process, set up transition council. Poll, federal government orders closure of universities for 3 weeks so as to enable students, undergraduates, participate in the elections. We have this. On the old banknotes, there's confusion as bank insists on today's deadline. Yes, like I said, don't be so happy. The banks are insisting on today's deadline. Central Bank still insisting on today's deadline. Get your monies to the bank, your old Naira notes to the bank. Get your old Naira notes to the bank. Good morning, I'm Gwebo Mafidon. Good morning, everyone that that is online this morning. Good morning. And let's look at other reports here this morning. Federal government will obey Supreme Court ruling, says Malami. Federal government will obey Supreme Court ruling, says Malami. Yes, February 15th is another day to hear what the Supreme Court has to say, as the federal government has instituted another suit on the 15th of February. CBN yet to officially inform lenders of any extension. CBN yet to officially inform lenders of any extension. Countdown clock on Apex Bank's website still had February 10 deadline last night. Countdown clock on Apex Bank's website still had February 10 deadline last night. NANS begs students used to shun violent protests. NANS begs students and used to shun violent protests. On elections, National Universities Council orders closure of varsities in the varsity centers. It will scrutinize list of returning coalition officers. INEC tells visits. Catholic agency calls for watertight security in FCT communities. Yes, State of the Nation, Bode George calls on ex-leaders, presidential candidates to speak up. Says the Naira fuel scarcity suffocating Nigerians as Frank Gumba takes over from Bankole as Ogun CP. Naira scarcity may affect military operations. NSA. Buhari approves transition committee, signs the executive order 14. Yes. Secretary to the Government of Federation, SGF Mustafa, to chair panel. I have Mr. Matthew. Good morning, Mr. Matthew.
Good morning, Mr. Akisanchuku.
Yes. Today is the deadline. The central bank is adamant on whether it is an extension or they are going to continue the deadline.
You cannot be talking about deadline in the face of a restraining order from Supreme Court.
I disagree with you.
If you disagree with me, it means you are disagreeing with Supreme Court, and that may be tantamount to court content.
No, the Supreme Court.
I say you may be committing contempt of court.
Let me explain myself.
Explain yourself.
The people that were taking the court was the federal government, not the CBN. So what concerns the CBN in the case?
You were too in a haste you didn't go through the judgment. Your judgment restrained CBN, restrained federal government and CBN, because CBN is acting on behalf of federal government. The restraining order was directed to CBN.
Federal government.
I think it was directed to
CBN.
CBN.
No, you need to bring it out.
If you want me to bring it out,
yes,
I'll bring it out.
Bring it out.
Don't worry, wait for me. Let's look for the court judgments that restrain.
The Supreme Court can only entertain cases that has to do with the federal government and state government. If there's a conflict between the federal government and state government, in this point, at this issue, there's no conflict between the federal government and state government.
You are getting it wrong. That is not the only where federal government can
bring out the case now.
That is not the
like
only
I said,
where.
Central Bank does not have anything to do in this case because this Zamfara, Kaduna, Kogi State took the federal government to court, not Central Bank. Yeah, good morning, Gladys Oyabo. Happy weekend to you. Watching from Atlanta, USA. Andrew Bujimi Christian, good morning. Yes, Ajay Boy, good morning. Yes, good morning. Agwe Boy Matthew, good morning. Grace NFU, good morning. We are waiting for Mr. Matthew.
No, I'm looking for the court judgment.
Yes, the court judgment. If you are going to take somebody to court, CBN is not part of the summon. It is the federal government. So CBN is an independent body, although there are some acts of the law that will warrant CBN to, yes, consult the federal government. But CBN as an independent body like INEC is not in the instituted case. So your old naira notes, take them to the bank today because a broadcast by Emefiele yesterday says that it remains. Look at the papers this morning. Yes, there's confusion as banks insist, that's the New Telegraph, on today's deadline. Confusion as banks insist on today's deadline. While we wait for Mr. Matthew to bring out the judgment that Central Bank was instructed not to carry on with the deadline. Like I said, it was the federal government that was taken to court, and the Supreme Court, despite the fact that it shouldn't have entertained such a case, which should have started from the High Court to the Appeal Court, then to the Supreme Court. Let's move on.
No, you can have another person. I'll get it.
Let's move on.
No, you can have another
you can
person.
come back.
No, okay.
Let's look at that issue.
No, I want to show you that actually the order was directed at CBN. The court was mindful of. No, I'm not looking at. It's just that I have not gotten it. I'm not looking at anything. The court was mindful that there could be gimmick. So the court deliberately directed it at CBN.
Yeah, I understand.
The restraining order.
Like I said, the Supreme Court does not have a right to entertain any case that does not involve only the federal government and the state government.
You get it wrong. Let me tell you why. Okay. There are so many instances where case will start from the trial court.
No, Supreme Court.
I'm coming. Start from the trial court.
This case started from Supreme Court.
I know.
Okay. It didn't start from the
I know.
Court. Okay.
This is not the first time state governments will be approaching Supreme Court for determination of issues. Okay. What even what Malam is arguing, it is until the Supreme Court decides it, we will not determine what is the position of the law. But let me tell you this today. Let's assume there's a lacuna. Nobody knows the position of the law. And Supreme Court happens to give a verdict on that issue. That verdict of the Supreme Court becomes a law.
I understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, let's assume that thing was not in existence. And Supreme Court happens to give a verdict on that thing. Their position becomes the law.
Okay, the case is between who and who?
What the Kaduna State government, Zamfara State government, and Kogi State government did was to drag federal government to court.
Not CBN.
And CBN is an appendage of the executive. And in the restraining order, the court referred to CBN. Not just CBN, it referred to all the commercial banks. Because the court was mindful of gimmick that somebody may say, I'm not the one compared. You are the one dragging me into this argument. Otherwise, because people may misconstrue my position on this because of the narrative you are bringing in.
What narrative are you bringing in?
No, you are trying to make it look as if whether I'm in support or opposed to a particular issue.
But
I will have my time to come back to prove to you that.
Bring the evidence.
Yes, I will bring it.
Because the case that was taken to the court was just between the federal government and the states. They started from the High Court. They took the CBN to court from the High Court. The High Court has already given their verdict. So they have no jurisdiction on the CBN. That's why I said, if they are going to give any judgment from the Supreme Court...
What you are saying is subject upon determination by Supreme Court. You cannot sit outside the court and start deciding a case that is in court. What you are doing is you are committing, you are prejudice. You are prejudicing the case that is already before a court.
That is prejudice now?
What you are saying is already before Supreme Court. Malami have gone to Supreme Court to ask the one to determine whether those three state governors through their respective attorney generals have jurisdiction, have local standing, the power to institute such action.
Okay.
And two, they have equally asked Supreme Court itself to determine whether they have jurisdiction, power to entertain such case.
Okay.
It is until they determine it before you can say your position is right or wrong.
Okay.
Otherwise, what you are doing is prejudice.
What have I done?
You are prejudicing.
No, just give me. This is what you said. You said something that is prejudice.
Prejudice is you are trying to give what you think is right, and that case is before the court. It's not in my position to say it will go like this or go like that until the court determines it. You are not saying the Supreme Court have no right, and Supreme Court is here to rule whether they have right or not.
I listened to like 4 lawyers.
You now started passing judgment.
No, I'm not a legal.
You are passing judgment already.
What judgment did I pass?
You are passing judgment by telling the world that Supreme Court have no power, have no right. And it's a case before Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will not determine whether they have right or not and give judgment. After the judgment, you can criticize the judgment. But now that the judgment have not been given, it's not my position to start prejudicing the outcome of the case by giving judgment. I will not tell your line by giving judgment.
I'm just telling you. The CBN governor came out and said that they are still on the deadline.
It's irrespective of what the CBN governor is saying. As long as that order has not been vacated, if you do anything contrary, it is disobeying the court order.
Nigerians now.
What I will advise Nigerians is, as long as that court order has not been vacated, between now and 15, old naira note is valid. It's not about whether I like the policy or hate the policy. That's the position of the law. It's not about whether the juries that gave the judgment were right or wrong. But as it stands, it's a valid court injunction that has not been vacated. And it stands.
Okay, let's move on. We have, let's look at other reports here this morning. A foreigner was accosted with over 6,000 voters card.
That is quite unfortunate.
Why some indigenes of the country, they don't even have access to the
That is quite unfortunate. But I think the authorities should do the needful. Because I think there are extant laws that deal with such issues. They should not sweep it under the carpet. The laws should come heavily on such person, and there should be proper investigation because the person who have done it without connivance with some INEC officials on unpatriotic Nigerians. So I think there should be an in-depth investigation to unravel.
You trust that they will go on with the investigation?
That's why I'm calling for it. And when the needful is not done, we will not fail to condemn whoever is saddled with some responsibility and refuse to do the needful.
Okay, I think PMS crisis, depot owners begin sale of 117 naira ex-depot price. Do you think it's going to facilitate availability?
If they are selling the ex-depot price, and because from what I understand from their own angle the other time, they were saying that the government through NNPC is not selling to them at the control price. And you cannot come back to force them to sell at the control price because it will amount to, on their own part, selling at loss. So I don't know the rationale behind selling at that price. I've not read that news.
Okay.
I don't have a firm position on that.
Okay, let's look at, Buhari preparing to transition to a new government. They have set up a transition committee.
I saw that. It's not just enough to set up transition committee. He should be planning to finish well. There are so many fronts where in my consideration, he has failed. And the way it is, he's still in the saddle. And between now and May 29, we still have a good number of days. And Nigerians need to be protected. Because the business of protecting life and property is a responsibility the president owes to Nigerians. And when he does that, he's not doing anybody any favor, rather, he's doing what behoves on him to do by the Constitution. So, even as he's planning to hand over, he should ensure that going forward, before he hands over, Nigerians are well and adequately protected, and his responsibilities are discharged with a good sense of responsibility.
Do you see a possibility of that?
That's why I'm charging him to do that.
Do you see? I know you are charging him. Do you see?
If he fails to do it, we condemn him, just as we used to condemn him when he fails to do the needful.
Okay, let's look at naira scarcity may affect military operations. That's the LSA Mongono.
What they need to do is, these are people who are the highest echelon of authority in this country. Just as the INEC chairman expressed some concern, and the CBN governor was able to allay his fears. In the same vein, I think the NSA knows the right thing to do, because you cannot starve the military personnel who are fighting the insurgency with fund. So I think they should find a way to go around it rather than trying to play to the gallery. I don't like, if me I'm complaining, maybe Raf is complaining, Chigoza is complaining, any of us is complaining, it's understandable. Not the person who sits in the office of the National Security Advisor who knows the right thing to do, how to solve any of such problem. So I don't like people playing to the gallery. You should get to work and find a way.
You are making a judgment now. You don't like people playing to the gallery.
I said, if I'm complaining, it's understandable that I do not have authority to cause things to happen. NSA, do you know the question of NSA? When you are talking about NSA, Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Naval Staff, Air Staff, DSS, Director of DSS, name it, they are all answerable to him. So if you're not complaining, then who am I? You should join her with the government and resolve the problem. You should not play to the gallery.
Have you watched that video that Sheon Kuti made some comments about the Labour Party presidential candidate?
I will not join issue with Sheon Kuti. He's a Nigerian here. He's entitled to his opinion. He can front any opinion just as I'm entitled to my opinion. So the only area where I may not be comfortable with such utterance is when is it the one that criticized Obiabi?
Yeah.
Is when INEC, that is supposed to be seen as umpire, start liking such posts. But as an individual who have decided to have an opinion, I don't think it's in my position to start joining issue with him. It is his position.
Okay. They are calling for the removal of Olusegun Agbaje, the INEC record.
Okay, I think I'm in support of that.
You're in support?
Yes.
Can you give us some of the things that makes you support?
The allegations I've heard against him, which I'm waiting for him to refute, and I've not seen. Okay, he refuted the allegations, then there should be investigation. Because from PDP's angle, I learned he approved members of Lagos State Garage and Pass Committee to distribute sensitive material, INEC materials on election day. And I heard, don't say it's a normal practice. I will come to that. I heard he made some uncomplimentary comment against the Igbos. Perhaps addressing them as immigrants. So, if those two statements, though they say he have refuted them, then there should be an investigation. And if he's found wanting, I feel he's not competent to serve in that capacity. Then coming to the angle of Lagos State Garage and Park Committee members, I think we discussed that thing extensively here the other day. I don't know what you want to make out of it. I don't know what is your interest in it. But let me remind you, in case you have forgotten, my memory still serves me right. We had a social here in Lagos here. The chairman of, branch chairman of National Union of Road Transport Workers, Ensoloma, had issue with the national body. We learned he was suspended and it didn't go down well with him. He pulled out of the union. And Lagos State government took side by disbanding the union in Lagos State and went ahead to form Lagos State Garage and Pass Committee. Consequence of after that, they appointed the same Ensoloma as the chairman of the Lagos and Garage Committee. And we all know the position of Solomon himself. He's an APC. Yes, he's an APC member. They have not hidden that. So if you have a responsibility as sensitive as moving sensitive election materials on election day, and you are entrusted in the hands of somebody who controls in the organization, or somebody who controls the who controls a transportation system in Lagos State, and who is an interested party, for me, is a threat to the credibility of the election. So I don't know what is your interest. Maybe you should speak, let the world hear you. Why you say it's a normal thing?
It has been a normal practice.
I think I told you this in the other day, that National Union of Road Transport Workers is an independent body. Nobody have contested that. It's not affiliated to PDP, APC, or any other political party. But what we have in Lagos is a state-created transportation system body. So who do they pay their allegiance to? So I don't know why you are trying to create a narrative that is not popular. Maybe you have your reasons.
Okay. One more. We have are you calling for peace in the PDP?
As a father, it's not out of place for him to do that. I learned he was appealing to even Autumn to join hands with other leaders to deliver the party. I don't see anything wrong in that. Or do you see anything wrong in that?
I'm asking. He's calling the integrity group that is led by Wike. There's a suit for peace.
Most especially as those ones have not openly said they have left PDP. Even if they say they have left PDP, and in this context we all know that it's a game of number. You are calling people to join hands with you, trying to love people, who people. I don't see anything wrong with, or do you see anything wrong in that?
Mr. Matthew, you ask me questions.
Because personally, I know that the game we are going into is a game of number, and everybody wants to increase its number. So the more the number, the more the merrier. So if IU is calling on Autumn, Wike to join her to deliver their candidate, I don't see anything wrong with that.
The John National Youth Congress has endorsed it. Have you heard about that?
They are right. They are entitled to the opinion. I'm not. They are entitled to the opinion. They have rights. It's within their rights. Just like Ayo Adebanjo endorsed me to be. Personally, I support me to be. It's my right. Obasanjo supports me to be. It's his right. You have some other people who are supporting Asiwaju Amebola to be. It's their right. You have some other people who are supporting Atiku. It's their right. So you cannot start. I will not join issue with anybody who is exercising the right.
Okay,
or do you expect me to join issue with people who are exercising their rights?
I don't expect you.
Okay. Because I wanted to know your interest. Yes, I've equally made my choice, and I know I will respect other people's choice, and other people have equally have rights.
Over this election, in few days time.
I think my fears are being allayed, because if you look at what the National University Commission did by closing down universities within the period of this election, you discover that the Minister of Education had consultation with security heads.
Okay.
Then perhaps after the advice, he decided to shut down Nigerian universities during this period. It may not be because he wanted them to participate. I think they may be envisaging a situation where if there's unrest, students who are in their youthful age would be the one that will participate actively. And I think in their own thinking, that if you have them together in the campuses, it is easier for them to organize themselves for an unrest. I think that best explains the reason they say retire to your homes. And
not because they wanted them to.
No, not because they meant well for them. It's because not because they do not want to disenfranchise them. Go and read that, so you understand that it is after the Minister of Education had consultation with the security heads, they now came to that conclusion. So for me, I think they are trying to nip crisis in the bud. I've equally heard from some persons who I don't know, I cannot independently verify the authenticity, who said even the military is doing some tactical operation and trying to go into flash points to isolate miscreants, hoodlums, who they perceive may perpetrate unrest after the election, after the strike.
Where are they going to keep them?
The government have enough detention facility. Maybe you should visit the defense headquarters to ask them. You are a journalist, so you should.
I want to know whether you
should seek the audience of
Matthew, you have been
I'm not
privy. Before you go, you bring out that judgment.
I'll bring it.
You don't bring out that
I'll
judgment.
bring it, and if I bring it, you are going to pay for it. I'll bring it.
They
I'll
must include, you see, that process. What I'm saying is that, at the first place, these lawyers have said Supreme Court has no jurisdiction.
Anybody can have a position.
That's my
It's the position of the lawyer. You want to intimidate me out of the stage. But what I'm trying to say, you have made your point now. You want to intimidate me out.
In Imo State?
Imo State, okay, you see, personally, I criticize that judgment.
But it's a Supreme Court judgment.
It's a Supreme Court judgment. The judgment has been given, so I can criticize it.
The first judgment has
been
given.
Get me right. Before the judgment, if I say it's going this way or going that way, I'm prejudicing that judgment. But after the judgment, I can criticize it. What you are doing is prejudice.
What I've said is that they don't have any
you are still repeating it. You are still repeating it.
It has started from the High Court to the Appeal Court.
No,
Supreme Court.
The point I'm making
is
is
only when the federal government and state government have issue.
This case you are passing judgment is already before Supreme Court. Why not allow them to give judgment before giving your own judgment?
What did Malami say?
Malami is making an appeal. An appeal is not tantamount to judgment.
So why is judgment?
You are judgmental. It's only Supreme Court that can still appeal on this judgment. Malami said one, he's challenging the local standing of all the three state government through their respective chief justice of their states, whether they have the power to see such action. That does not mean judgment has been given in that regard. He's equally challenging the Supreme Court itself, whether they have jurisdiction, power to hear that case. So it is upon the determination of that case to those two relief by the Supreme Court, one can say whether it's right or wrong. As it stands, if I say Malami is right, it's supposed to go like this. I'm prejudicing the outcome of that judgment. That's what I'm trying to make. And I don't want to join issue with you to start prejudicing. The Supreme Court
lacks jurisdiction to hear the case.
Is a relief is certain. Okay, does that amount to?
I said the Supreme Court does not have a jurisdiction to hear that case. You are saying I'm judgmental. Now, Malami is saying that the Supreme Court lacks jurisdiction to hear the case.
You are not reading it fully. It is a relief he's seeking. Okay, does it start? What you are saying, does it start as a judgment?
So what I'm saying and what this is saying.
No. You are quoting out of context. You just speak.
Okay, go bring the judgment. Okay.
You would read everything so that they understand.
Let's click on that link as well for Mr. Matthew to bring out this evidence on the court ruling. But as we speak, the central bank governor yesterday in a video said that they remain with the deadline and the old notes today will be should be returned. If not, it will be persona non grata. The old notes will not be used. Our sites today, but till February 15th, we are expecting another judgment from the Supreme Court. Good morning, Mazira.
Yeah, good morning, Christian.
Mazira, do you still have the old naira note?
Old naira note is going today according to Supreme Court. I tell you, some persons are still fighting the Supreme Court ruling because it is not a constitutional law. It is just a law that is recently legislated. And once it is not embedded in Nigerian Constitution, Supreme Court has no say on this. Do you know what? Courts in Nigeria, I still repeat it again, doesn't have say. No taproot. They don't have authority over the executive. What the executive, the office of Mr. President Atasurok says about this deadline of 18 stands. Everybody is afraid that today is the final, of the old notes. Let me tell you, the finality is not today. The finality is not today. I'm telling you, till tomorrow, they'll be using it in Kano State, Kwara State, Sokoto State, especially in the north. If Southerners, oh my God, Southerners, oh yes, member. Oh yes, region of Nigeria is Southern Nigeria. If we likes, let us discard our old Naira note. Naira will still be what? Usable in Kano State. Many localities in Sokoto State. Let me tell you, it's gonna take time before this process will successfully be what? Accomplished.
So I should not dispose my own Naira note.
Christian, keep your money. If you want to dispose it or burn it, don't. Give me, let me keep it for you.
In the bank.
Okay, in the bank. You can leave it in the bank.
Activity.
Yeah, wisely decision. Leave it in the bank. But don't discard the one you have at hand. Even if you want to do something about it, spend it today. Spend it or invest it on something very valuable. Don't discard it yet. Nigeria is not a place you can rely on. FGM, Federal Government of Nigeria, they are not reliable. Right from onset. Yes. It's not only Buhari regime. They are, only that they are learning from the former dictators, Abacha, Babangida, and the rest of them are learning from Buhari. The same thing Buhari is doing now, he did it from 1983 to August 1985. 2 good years we suffered. Are you listening to me? We suffered under his regime, so it has come back again. It's playing on us. It's because we are people that are, infested with this disease of oblivion, or you call it oblivion. I think you understand. We easily forget. We are like the avians. We are like what? The avians, the herbivores, like goats. Goat can only retain memory in his brain 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, he has forgotten. She has forgotten. He goat, she goat. Only 5 minutes. Communication with goat. Within 5 minutes, she or he has forgotten. That's why you scare goat. Hey, go. It will run. On getting to that bus, it will stay for some 4 minutes. It has forgotten, no. It will go there. I don't know whether that's our Nigerians for you. We forgot our past. That's why we delve into mistakes. Over time, Nigerian masses are making mistakes. Because we easily forget the history. We don't capitalize on history at all. No. The past is past. Bygone is bygone. God will say forget, na lie. God will say be wise. God does not tell you say forget the things of the past. No. There are ways human life goes on. The life we live here is not about forget, or else you see cobra and do what? Point your finger at cobra. Yes?
And
you should forget.
This,
No. When cobra pose, go point your finger, because God will say forget the past. You've forgotten that if you point your finger at the cobra, it's going to bite you. We don't adhere to what Bible teaches us. We put our own man way in what Bible says. Bible does not say you should forget the history. No. If we could forget the history, how do we know that Jesus Christ was born so date? Yes, that he was born by Mary and Joseph. That he was at least secured in Egypt. Why must we forget history? God did not tell us to forget history. You must forget, you remember your past to judge God. We still understand that God is Rock of Ages. God of many years is still the same God.
As Nigerians, we remember our past.
As Nigerians, we don't remember our past. If we do, we shouldn't have allowed Buhari to come back again. If we do, we shouldn't have made mistake that we made in 2015. We repeatedly did the same mistake in 2019. If we do remember our past. Nigerians are the set of people I know that plays with history. They don't care. And it is very dangerous to play with history. You know, the reason why Europe still remain great. Europe, remember the mistake of 1930s. The mistake that started in 1939 ended up in 1945. By what? Blood. Everybody paid by blood. The mistake of 1914 till 1918, everybody paid by blood in Europe. War. That was the war era. They remember, then America is warning you to secure the whole world before escalation of what happened in 1930s. That's why everybody is every hands are on desk praying over what Russia is doing to part of
I think
our own territory.
The world war that is coming in.
It is coming now, that's what we say, but it's not going to be like shoot me, I shoot you. I believe it's going to be like technological war. I think, understand, they will fight it technologically. It's not idea of killing or shooting again, fellow man. No, they must make sure that they cripple USS, the former USSR. They must go down to their knee, because it's like he's growing his wing again. That is Mr. Putin. I didn't understand. You fight at a stage, you find out that the whole world is against you. You have to align with them. You must reason with them. I think understand. So the tension is mounting up. I think you understand what I mean. It's just gathering like cloud. You say what?
I should steal my own naira.
Christian, return your naira note. Don't throw it away. You can't.
The central bank governor yesterday said that. Look at. Bank insists on today's deadline.
Continuous banks insist on today's deadline. That is Nigeria for you. That is Nigeria for you. adjudication of Supreme Court on that deadline cannot stand because it is not a constitutional law. This is just a legislated law of how many weeks now? It's not up to 1 month. Constitutional law is what Supreme Court adjudicates on. I didn't understand. You cannot just come and rule on ordinary, law legislated by the members of Lagos. Let's say, for instance, Lagos State House of Assembly, the honorables there. You can nullify. See, if local governments in Lagos State here legislate any law like that, do you know that the state government up to the level of, let me tell you, from that office of Mr. Governor, Alausa there, they can nullify it. Yeah, you call it a nullity because it is not in any law that comes up like that. It's not embedded on Lagos State Constitution. So it is a nullity. They can nullify it anytime. I don't know whether you understand. Okay. So if you discard your naira note, I think sometimes, let me tell you, next week we are going to regret it. Keep your money.
Okay, let's look at
either in the bank or put it in your pocket.
Buhari is preparing to leave power. The Approved Transition Committee signs Executive Order 14. He's preparing.
Man, Ralph Tresvant don't come again. So why is he just in a haste to seal the deal? He started in 2015. I don't think this kind of hastiness has to do with honesty. You understand? And integrity. Because if you find out that you do a good deal or you do a good job in a community, I don't think or see the reason why you should be living in a haste. I didn't understand. Something is kicking under. Something is biting him under his panties. He has done a lot of evil to this country. What he has done in Nigeria is trying to chase him away so quick. Why must Buhari be, gathered in the ad hoc committee or whatever committee to hand over to? Is he trying to hand over to an interim government? Is he planning to hand over to some persons? For what? Interim government? No, it should be there. No, Buhari should be there to finish what he started.
Okay.
Being so hastening up, handing over power by General Buhari is very suspicious. I don't like it. You stay there, someone wins this election, you carry someone, introduce him to Aso Rock, you take him around the Eagle Square, you take salute, just as did Mr. Matu Obasanjo to Mr. Yaradua. He must have done that. I don't want the kind of handing over that you just hand over today. Tomorrow they saw you at Sambisa Forest where you are sneaking to Sahel countries. From there you will just aboard aeroplane to Saudi Arabia. No, it means you did evil. You hand over to Mr. Anybody. You stay. You introduce him to Aso Rock, what? Environment.
Yeah.
You show him where. Thank you, all the villa. You take salute. You dine with him. You advise him. You stay put in your office. So that if they need any other advice, they should come to you. That is when a man has done well. When a job is well done, that is how it will always be. But if a job is not well done, the person that did the job will be in a haste to leave. I don't see the reason why he should be handing over now. The election is yet to take place. Somebody is just bringing all the normal documents. Preparing the ground for what? He should stay there. See, somebody that's going to win election comes 24th of this month. Buhari is going to take him around the Eagle Square. Buhari is going to hand over what? The normal documents to him. Classified documents, ordinary documents, and other projects at hand. It should introduce to him all those documents and explain certain things to the upcoming president of Nigeria to be. Let me tell you, if he's in a haste to leave office, we should go there and tell him, don't go in a haste. Maybe there are many dirty things needed to be tied up. You should stay. You don't live like that.
Okay, let's move on. The INEC rec, Lagos INEC rec, Agbaje, there are calls that he should resign because
he works for APC.
No, it's the INEC.
INEC, thank you, Betty. There are things that you do. There are things you don't do if you're in that kind of sensitive office. Listen, sensitive position like INEC, we need people that are neutral. You play the role of neutrality. You don't side this person, you don't side this person. I don't know why Agbaje, you call him Agbajabi. That's why he's trying to tell the whole world that motor park chairman, all the parks and the Aburu chairman in Lagos State should be responsible for transportation of electoral materials. It is unfair. It is unfair. The motor park or the chairman of National Youth Transport Road Transport Union, Lagos State or Nigeria as a whole could not be responsible for that transportation of electoral material. Materials are sensitive materials.
Over the years, they have used any article.
They have used. Anyway, let me tell you, whosoever should do that job should be well aware of security. They should secure such company or agencies that should transport electoral materials to various units. They should secure them with police and the military. You shouldn't allow it to ordinary motor park towns. I think Agbaje should resign for just taking that decision, making it public. We are calling for his resignation. And he should do that. We want a neutral agency to transport to various units sensitive electoral documents, equipment. I didn't understand. It shouldn't be left out to the miscreants called motor parks to transport so that something will not transpire along the line. Or do you want us to delve into more mistakes? You know, this is the part of the world that romances mistake. We admire mistake. If it happens now, I know we'll be everywhere. I don't know what I understand. So there will be an appropriate agency to do that job, secured by police, guarded by the military.
Okay, lastly, what are your fears about the election?
I don't have fears about the election. There was never an election that caused me fear in Nigeria. If not by the virtue of my age, I can tell you that competently I witnessed and partook in the election in 1983, only that my years, the number of my years then, was not up to 18. We were aware of FEDECO, the role FEDECO played. I think you understand. The role that NPN, the National Party of Nigeria, played to rig election of 1983, though they rigged it, but the military struck. Then in 1987, I witnessed election whereby you vote only mark 111, 1 I5, IIV. We were voting by Roman figures. That was 1987. The then governor of Anambra State was Emeka Umera. I don't know whether the man is late or living by now. Are you listening to me? Then I witnessed the election of 1993, whereby Abiola, the most influential black man there, very, very generous, contested with only two parties. Obasanjo edged out Umaru Chinkafi. Obasanjo, not Obasanjo, Babangida edged out Umaru Chinkafi. He disqualified Yaradua. Yaradua, brother to the Yaradua that just died recently, Musa Yaradua. He disqualified Bamanga Tuko. All of them are the rest aspirants and come up with two persons. Tofa, Bache, Tofa, and Moshood Abiola. That was 1993. Two of them contested. I was not afraid. I voted as Sangota. What are you telling me? I'm not afraid of anybody. So, look at me. I'm a fearless man. I voted for Abiola. And if Abiola could come back again, I'll vote for him. Yes, he's a very good man. He's a man that gives, irrespective of your region, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your tribe. Abiola gave to us. Abiola gave to my family. When we are about burying Anes or Okonkwo, the football commentator then, Abiola gave to us. Abiola gave to families. He built mosques in various localities in the north. He doesn't know tribe. He doesn't know religion. Abiola was a giver, a generous man. And that's the kind of person we needed in Nigeria to be a president. I was not afraid in 1993. Then came in 1999. I voted for two parties, NRC and the SDP. Abiola won. Obasanjo won the election. I voted. I did not run. I was at Olowu there, number 25 Olowu. Ikeja. I did not run. So, in 2007, we voted for Yaradua. I was not afraid. In 2011 again, I voted for Jonathan. I was not afraid. 2015, I did not vote for Buhari, and if Buhari contests again, I won't vote for him. What are you telling me? I'm not afraid of anybody. My name is Raf Tresvant. I voted in 2019 for Atiku Abubakar.
So
I don't know what
who are you going to vote for now?
So, of course, you know me. Since I was born, I've been obedient to my parents. I've been obedient to the Lord God Almighty. So who am I not to be obedient to Labour Party? How could I see ebe na alụ agụ aga m ebe na-echi ọzọ ma ọ bụ ebe na-echi ọzọ aga m ebe na alụ agụ? How could I see where people are being blessed by the Most High God? Then I will go to where devils, Satan, demons are dining and whining. Man, I'm not blind. I can see. I still adhere or invite or enjoin all of you to be as obedient as I am to my parents, to God Almighty. You guys, even you Christian, be obedient. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So,
Have you gotten your evidence?
Yes.
Let me.
No, I will read it.
Okay.
You want to
read it out.
But a 7-man panel of Supreme Court, led by Justice John Okoro, in a unanimous ruling on Wednesday, granted an interim injunction restraining the federal government, CBN, commercial banks, etc., from implementing the February 10th deadline for the old 200, 500, and 1,000 naira note to stop being a legal tender.
Okay.
At this point, let me say that our opinion, our sentiment does not represent the facts.
Ask the question.
I appreciate that you have
Imo
a
State
sentiment.
Governor, do you support that?
No. Let's stay on this issue.
Okay.
I understand your sentiment.
No.
I understand your opinion.
I'm not a lawyer.
But your opinion,
Lawyers will tell you
your
the same thing
opinion
I'm telling you. Not
does
my
not.
opinion.
You are not a lawyer. You are saying lawyer will tell you what you are.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is you are fronting an idea, a position.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I want to say that your position, my position, does not represent the.
Let's see what happens. My position
If you
stands.
ask me, my position is at variant with that judgment. But I'm telling you that was a judgment.
Forget Supreme Court have become
You don't know what I'm saying.
They are using
So
now.
it's irrespective of my opinion. It's irrespective of
Yeah.
I was only trying to
It's
prove that.
irrespective of any other person's opinion.
Yes, I was only trying to prove that the judgment restrains.
So you read a report from what media house?
Business day.
Business Day. Okay.
Supreme
No, we have
Court
to
have
talk
been
about
used by
tomorrow.
the tools
Remember
politicians.
You don't know what they're
Supreme
saying.
Court have been used.
You don't know what
They use them for Were, they use them for Osu, they use them for Akpabio, they use them for Akpabio. Supreme Court has become zero. Man, you leave that
That
area.
is the Supreme
You
Court
don't
of
know what
Nigeria.
they're discussing.
What are you discussing? CPA was not included.
Yeah, the original
CPA was
someone.
not included.
Original someone.
Overnight, just go overnight. They went there.
Judgment here.
I forget the Supreme Court. I don't believe them anymore. This election, self, how do you think after voting, Supreme Court will turn us down again tomorrow? That's how they turned Article 2019 Supreme Court. What happened? Who is there? Who is leading Supreme Court?
So
I better forget them.
there's
No. All the institution is
Supreme
dead.
Court is the hope of the common man.
Hope for who? Hope for number 4 to become number 1. Hope for Akpabio, who do not go for campaign, who do not even go for even Lawan. If first court can say Machudo is the winner, second court can say Machudo is the winner, then Supreme Court say no, Lawan, who did not go to even defeat, that means Supreme Court has become zero.
No, you need to understand the case. That case, you need to understand it.
What is the understandable?
You handle case, so you understand that?
Yes, I handle
it's not
case.
the person that goes to police station that win case.
With your money.
That's what they call
That
technical
means
ground.
Lawan brought a lot of money.
It's
It's an agreement by party.
So
They
you
must
will-
make sure Lawan go to Senate.
You will not- you
How
will-
many times Lawan be Senate? Can't you allow somebody else to go there? Look, Supreme Court has been used. It's a use of not common man anymore.
The stooge of
How can you carry Zodema, who is number 4, and put for number 1? Somebody, oh my God. So this election 2023, don't be surprised if Obi win tomorrow. They will turn in technical ground and say that Tinubu and Bilo can win. So Supreme Court, forget it, I beg. Let's go ahead, I beg.
okay, now today is the deadline. Should we take our naira note and still spend?
Okay, who obey the Supreme Court
return it?
now? Who obey Supreme Court now? Police station are not selling fuel because they don't want naira note. Bank did not open because they cannot, they don't know what to do. Everybody's confused. So who is winning now? Is it Supreme Court or Buhari? No, that's it. Did they obey Supreme Court? Because Supreme Court have become useless. I get to be confused. They have become useless. We have 3 men, we just sit down and just give order. Now who obey them now? Everybody stands there. They just stand there. Nothing is working. Yes. If you don't have cash, no way. And the new, they are not taking old money. People who are selling food, did not open because they don't want problem. So transfer did not go. Even when you buy something and you transfer, the thing show you successful. When you go with the team, when you move there, the thing will turn back to your money again. You can see how Nigeria, for one hour, become evil. Nobody to trust for anywhere. They say president and the old president, they are holding meeting. Before then, Nigeria patient has, we have to lose our patient. We are not happy. Things are going down. We are standstill. We are in prison. We are in prison. You don't need to be in bar. We are in prison in our home. My brother, what is happening? Say Supreme Court, all the Supreme Court. Lawyers are the problem of this country. Yes. Supreme Court are the problem of this country. Yes. Tomorrow, one court will tell you say you are the winner. You go to other court. The other will say you are not the winner. You go to other court. What kind of thing is this?
Okay. That means I need to still spend my money, Abi.
You spend the new naira now.
What
you don't have the new.
What the old naira?
Nobody's collecting. Because the policy, nobody know who's winning.
There's confusion, Abi.
There's confusion. God Malami say, I'm going to appeal that judgment. I get me. That judgment should set aside. Automatically, they don't agree with the Supreme Court judgment because overnight, expatriate judgment, 3 people don't win there, 3 governors. Not the whole governor, the whole state. That is the state. So governor disagree. Like Obaseki disagree. That policy should go. The policy is to block those who put money in Podilon and maybe Adamawa, those who start for old money to buy vote at maybe the PDP pay you 10,000 per this. APC pay you 20,000. So they already prepared that money. So they are angry. No way to spend the money. That's why they say they should give deadline. Even APC is even calling, shift the date to 4 more weeks so that they'll be able to teach out money. Look at my Baba yesterday. He went to Sokoto. While I was sitting down here, he was telling I said, this is my guarantor. My guarantor is here. Please support me. Support me. Is it campaign? Is it force? Are you forcing them to do that? Allow people to choose you. If Sultan want to choose you, allow him to do that. No, you must tell him this is my guarantor. Buhari said, by putting Buhari there, is making people to be angry. People are not happy. Bringing Buhari to come and continue your legacy. It's a legacy of APC. Almost 8 years, Nigeria becomes zero in everything. Telecom, petrol, money. Why? Anytime, any president of Nigeria after 8 years, they want to go. It's a problem. Obasanjo want to go. Third time. I don't say me. This I want to go again. Money change in 5 minutes.
He's preparing transition committee.
Right. Check those who are there. You see the same people from APC. I get me from APC who are there. The transition people, secretary, like Mohammed, all these people, the same people who don't want to go. Does he know what to win the election? Allow them to win. Allow that person to win first before you can put on transition.
So what is your plea to the government now on this naira policy?
Number one, the only person they will go to listen to now, both the poor, the rich, everybody, is the president to address the nation. Address the nation and say, look, old naira note, new naira note, go ahead. You see people who do that. Not CBN, not Supreme Court. Only the person they want to listen to now is the president to say, okay, give it CBN, go and spend your month or 1 year.
No, Oluomo must be giving the contract.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
No, the past years.
It's very, very wrong. Oluomo is a manager for the whole parks. Don't forget all these Danfo people report to him. So that is not good. They should use the normal people they are using. Don't tell me that. It's complete unacceptable.
Let's. But INEC in Lagos has agreed to allow Oluomo carry out the election materials.
When Onoche, President appoint Onoche, Nigeria revoke and they remove him. Don't forget, Oluomo is the chairman of manager of the whole transport in Lagos State. He has a problem with the national. Then the Lagos State government appoint him as a manager to manage the park. And again, don't forget, all these bosses, all of them, they respect him and they agree with him and they are working with him directly. So you cannot, this kind of thing, if you want transparency, INEC should remove that contract for Oluomo hand out of it. Number two, the reg here, that man is lack of vitamin. If you see him talking, lack of vitamin.
That's a personal.
I know, he cannot. Since he has been there, Agbaje, since he has been there, only one party in Lagos State. I can't trust that man. Number two, I can be telling us that. So don't forget, Oluomo write a letter to the Lagos State reg that they should give him the contract. As you know, who Oluomo represents is a backbone of Tinubu, which you know. So there is no way Obi, Atiku, other 18 people can agree that Oluomo should handle the transportation. Don't forget, transparency in the INEC, very, very important. Because by the time they carry one motor with all materials, go to Badilon or go to Mushi, enter one house and begin to complete, sending server to Abuja. Please, we need transparency. That man should remove the INEC. Lagos State should resign immediately, or that contract should be revoked out of Oluomo and get 5,000 vehicles in Lagos State to do the work so that Obi will have rest, Atiku will have rest, other candidates will have rest. Not by somebody who is a body guy to a candidate, he says he should handle transportation. Our ballot, our pivers, we miss 24 hours. I won't tell you lie.
Okay. As Minister of Yan, what's happening now?
My brother, you can see somebody promised me, I don't know, somebody from away said whether he's going to load a container of yam. So bring it, sir. I am still waiting, no. Even it's half. Yes. If you bring that yam, I surprise, I will put the yam for both of just for everybody. Nigerians are hungry. You see, Nigeria is the kind of people that the others like 10 minutes. They don't react. I expect Nigeria to be boiling now. Even the NSAS was not up to this when Nigeria was revoking. But Benin people, they strike.
Yes, they boo
Oshomole. You not only that yesterday. Not only yesterday. Even the day when Labour was doing their meeting, Oshomole was there. They pull him. They don't like him because why? If you follow Tinubu, if you follow Buhari, their policy is to fight hard. People don't like their policy. So anywhere APC go, people boo them. They don't like them. So I expect Oshomole and the president to bow their head, shameless. Nigerians are not, don't forget, 2015, everybody hated PDP because of Boko Haram issue. But today, we are multiple, food, killing, kidnapping, hatred, bite, witchcraft, hatred, no fuel, no light, no petrol, no food, no cash. Your money in your bank, you can't withdraw it. You are using money to sell money, buy money. They buy your money, again, your money in the bank. You collect 5,000, they collect 1,500. That means Nigeria has gone down under APC. There's no way they will not pull a show. So my brothers, there is an abroad. Please, Nigeria need help, either from in everything. We need help. I will tell you, like, Nigeria need help. Either advice or anything, please advise our government so that we can now. Because if Nigeria start war, I don't think we'll be able to contain it. Because the way Nigeria is going, anything can trigger. By the time it trigger, whether you are from Igbo, whether you're from Hausa, whether you are from Yoruba, I pity this country. Thank you very much.
Okay, yes, on what the INEC official said yesterday night at Channels Television, his name is Chairman for Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye. He said that that what actually exists is an independent contractual binding agreement between members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers and the electoral body across the country to distribute sensitive and non-sensitive election material. So we don't have that in Lagos State. So the Lagos INEC now said we have to work with the Lagos State parks and garages because since it is non-existent in Lagos State, there's no any RTW in Lagos State. So you don't have any choice.
No, we have choice.
What other choice?
We call individual.
What other choice?
We call individual. We have more than millions. We have more than millions. Lagos State.
The Lagos State has said,
INEC can do that.
Since we don't have any RTW, we have to work with Lagos State parks
How
and
do you
garages.
work with them is wrong.
That's what
we have the national. We have the national. The national can come down and pick most of these drivers and pay them. That's it. You can I ask a question? How can you trust Oluomo with a ballot paper? Don't forget, he control the drivers. By the time they carry each 10 buses, hide somewhere with ballot paper, begin to print. How would you know? They say police. Which police? In Lagos State, we have last man, Wele, Agoro, everything in one state. Police, they are not doing anything. Don't forget those police are being paid by allowance by Lagos State people. By the time they carry one bus, enter one house, politician house, but the police, everybody be settled. If they give you, listen, if they give you 20 million, and they carry ballot paper and beavers, enter one place, begin to print, what will you do? 2019, don't forget, it did not. They went to one house, ballot paper, completing PDP, APC, PDP, APC. They were completing it, featuring it, showing the whole world. What do you expect if you give this order to transporter? They will do the damage. So, INEC, Momchud, I warn you, either you remove the resident Lagos or let the national come and bring out transportation.
In Lagos?
Yes. It doesn't mean anything.
And when we have a transport union,
which
Lagos State parks and
have been
garages.
dissolved.
No,
The
there's
national
a
have
transport
dissolved
union, which is Lagos State parks
be
and garages.
formed by Lagos State, who is contesting. Don't forget, Oluomo is the backbone of Tinubu, PA, and he's a campaign manager under APC. So how could you give for you know all the 7 million register we channel to
Hear about over 6,000 voters cards that was found in the hand of one foreigner.
Yes.
You heard about it?
I had it. So
the investigation should go on. Who are the people that issued those?
There are a lot. So you want to tell me you want to hand over PVC to these school people to come and manage? No. Lagos, we have to cancel it. I don't think we allow Oluomo to control the transportation. For now, the national should go and get people. Let me tell you, if national come to Lagos and announce all drivers that want to work, come, pay them directly, not Oluomo. I'm telling you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Who is online this morning? Let's get that person contribute to our program this morning. That we are confused on what to do, but it is safe to take your money to the bank. Someone is saying that whether I have the money, it's someone that has money that will be complaining. Someone that has money. Yes, so this is Shima. Good morning, this is Shima. Let's have you contribute to the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Christian. Good morning to all our esteemed viewers. I believe you can hear me perfectly. Well, Mr. Christian, Nigerian problem is, I don't know how to address it, understand? Here in Europe, and even in America and to some extent to every other developed country, you hardly see 100 euros, 500 euros denomination, even 1,000. You know, it's hard. You see, even if you go to the banks, they hardly give it to people. They give it to people on special demand, and they must investigate what you do with that denomination before they can give you that money. Now, my case is this: why are Nigerians so agitated? Why are they clamoring? Why are they disturbing the government? The federal government, the CBN, is doing something that will reposition Nigeria economy. The policy is as good as anything good. These politicians are jockeying from one area to another, from one media house to another, granting interviews. They are doing it for their own selfish interest, not for the interest of the masses. Now, the 50 naira, the 20 naira is still in vogue. It's acceptable. They didn't change it. Then why are Nigerians clamoring? Why not be using the 50 naira and the 20 naira that is still available, that is still allowed to be used? Why clamoring? What are you doing with 1,000 euro? A poor man, a petit trader in the market, what are you doing with 1,000 naira? Use the one available until things stabilizes. There's no case for lamenting here. I don't say anything here. They are only trying to help people that destroyed their lives. Now, coming to the one of Mr. Abaje, I watched that interview with Shaun Okimbaloye of the channel. From every indication, from his statements, from his body language, Mr. Abaje, the INEC rec in Lagos State, should be removed with immediate effect. He is compromised and he's partisan. That is the simple truth about the whole matter. Now, how can you call people, some section of Nigeria, the same country with you, you call them immigrants? And the way he was sounding, he was so arrogant with his statement. That already has sidelined him. If I'm an opposition, the PDP, the Labour Party, and all the other parties in Lagos State, they should withdraw from the election. If Mr. Abaje is going to be the wreck of INEC in Lagos State that we see over this election, he's compromised. About the transport issue, Nigerians, I don't know, understand. How can you give? You use me and give to a
Mr. Akunle, good morning, Mr. Akunle.
Morning. I agree to you. Well, thank God it's Friday.
Today is the deadline. No?
Today is Friday, Abi. Thank God it's Friday.
Today is deadline.
For these people, forget them, man. Forget Emefiele and Buhari. There's a Supreme Court order that they should suspend it for now. So if they want to be a lawless government, they should go against the Supreme Court.
Buhari be obeying Supreme Court orders.
So he should obey it.
Is it known to obey court orders?
He should obey it
so
this time around. He should obey it because he's trending towards the end of his tenure, and anything can happen. You know, they can call him to justice after he left, man. You know, if he's leaving any moment from now, his name will be in a bad record if he does not obey the Supreme Court. That's the apex court of the land. If he does not obey it, I mean, his career is in jeopardy.
A judgment on Nnamdi Kanu, was he obeyed?
Those are part of the things I'm saying.
You should not take them out because
they are
still in charge of the country. You don't wish them away. That's the president and Emefiele.
I have to wish them.
Policies is what is.
Are you enjoying the policy?
Nobody's. Are you enjoying it?
Some people are enjoying it. I don't know. Some blind people are enjoying it. Among your viewers here.
No. What they are saying.
Among your viewers here.
What they are saying.
They are just there with. I mean, some of them have those sense with them.
The policy has a good intention.
The
policy has a good intention, and the implementation probably might be the problem. But they love that the policy is intending to give us free and fair elections.
But they are educated illiterate among them that they ought to have known, but they totally.
You know that the policy is a good policy.
It's a good, but the bad. I mean, the wrong timing. The wrong timing of implementation. We all know that, and that policy, what's it called? The number of days, number of months, number of days they give for them to mop out the naira. It's not even enough. It's not enough. UK changed their currency too, but it took them some months, almost a year, to roll out fade out those old currency. Why just, I mean, bamboozling people just to, I mean, go all around now? No bank is, our banks are not functioning any longer.
There's
We
a
don't
bank
have bank
functioning
in Nigeria
Allen,
again.
Allen.
The island don't go there. You just see ATM working, but no bank
No activity
staff,
in the bank.
no activities
So
at
if
all.
you have an old note now, how do you take it into the bank today?
As it is now, there's a meeting they want to. They are having a meeting.
Currently,
Councils
they will address
councils of elders meeting, or what they
Council
call
of
them.
Elders.
I mean, the past leaders, all of them will be around, and you know, security council meeting, or what they call it. They're having that meeting today. It's going to be after that meeting before we know the direction we all go. Because as it is now, they should try and avoid anarchy. You know, all these issues that is on ground now can bring anarchy easily.
Because I noticed if you wear an APC vest and you go to anywhere, you receive so much backlash from people.
I have Faleke cap here.
No.
I have
no.
I have Faleke cap.
Like,
and I'm still going to
I know the cap.
this Faleke and
I say like you have
yes.
the dress,
yes.
the shirt, and
but
you receive backlash from people.
You receive backlash, but their target point.
Some people are saying that
their
the
target
government
point
in power is trying to make people see APC.
Yes, there's some saboteurs that really want to blackmail their party. Indeed, they really want to blackmail. You know, it's blackmailing. Yes, actually, there are some cabals that they are not even happy with what is going on within the party. Presidential candidate and the followers, and they are there to just tarnish and destroy. And those kind of people, they should be fished out and they should be dealt with, because a few people, like 3 or 4, 5 people, cannot just hold Nigeria to ransom and hold the masses to ransom with all this policy. Policy is not working. It's not that it's not good, but it's not the right time for you to implement it. You have 8 years in governance. You have 8 years as a CBN governor. You could not sell that Dumi policy. Could not sell that, I can call it Dumi policy, because the purpose of it has been defeated already. Has not been defeated.
Some people are saying that those complaining are from the APC.
Forget those not complaining that they are the wicked. Forget, detach all these politicians. I'm talking of masses now. I'm talking of masses. I've detached myself from all these political war, whatsoever they call themselves. I'm talking of the masses now. Yeah. I'm for the masses. I'm part of the mass. I'm part of the masses. So anybody that does not have brain is the one that would be saying it's a good thing they are doing. It's a good thing the government is doing. How suddenly opposition party has started supporting what Buhari is doing now. Just to know that this opposition party we all have, they are wicked people. Coming to power will be more harder for people, because they are not even criticizing. All of them kept mum. The Labour Party, we did not hear anything from him. The PDP party, the PDP candidate, we did not hear anything from him, right? And they're supposed to speak out. If they love the masses, they're supposed to speak out. That's what I'm just telling you. All these people, they don't send any one of you. They don't send anybody. They're not speaking out. For average human being now to put food on his tummy, if just a day meal, it's difficult, because you have cash, you cannot access it. And if you want to access your cash, that means you pay there for it. You pay there for service charge. Imagine
1,000.
1,000. That's it.
On Sunday, 1,200.
I mean, it's 1,200.
More than 10%, 20% of your own money. You are buying your money.
Yes.
With 20%.
It's so tense that some people that are making mockery of this thing, they may go for it, because the country is not smiling as it is. Okay, Lagos is not smiling.
Buhari approves a transition committee that will facilitate his leaving.
I don't even want to go there, because there's problem on the ground now. They should solve that problem before approving any transition committee, because we still have till March for that to happen.
May.
No, they say May. Sorry, they still have till May for that to happen. So as of now, the tense problem we have now is what they should face.
Because even the naira policy is just one of our problems. We have many other things that we are facing. We have the light issue. The fuel is even worse.
I've said that over and over, but the people that just tribal bygones, what did they say? They say that he doesn't know what is that. I say a country that does not have a working refinery. These are the multiplier symptoms, effects of that you see. Look at the symptoms we are going through now. No refinery that is working.
and we were once the 6th largest producer of oil, you know, in the universe. And now Angola has overtaken us. Now, none of your refinery is working. Yes, none of your.
Are you not in Nigeria?
Let me just detach myself from the madness of this country as it is. For now, let me detach myself as it is now, because the fellow citizens you are in the country with, they are not reasoning, and their level of reasoning is, and the one they are in their outside, those ones are just big. They're bigots. They don't even want to know what is going on. Their own is to criticize people, to abuse people, you know, to abuse people. And they are there sitting down. They would forget that they will come back home. And none of them have the good pay. None of them have good pay job over there. We know roots of Magberu. I have to go personal.
Let's look at
because they go
Olusegun Agbaje, the resident INEC rec in Lagos.
Yes, what has it done?
People are asking for his,
what has it done?
For his,
You see. We all know some people that they are always meant for blackmailing. What he said was, some people have registered where they came from, and they want.
Play what he said for you?
Yeah, what did he say? What did he say?
Just
no, play it.
No,
what he said, what me I heard was, some people have registered already where they were outside Lagos. Now, when it was time, now they wanted to shift their transfer, or of what's it called, PVC, down to Lagos, which was too late for them to do. And about MC Oluomo, it was same INEC that carried themselves to meet the road transport union, that the national union. So people should not. That's why I say, you see, this country, when the blackmailing is too, a lot of these youths, a lot of senseless youths, they are just meant for blackmailing people, and that blackmailing will not lead them anywhere. Blackmailing will always lead to destruction.
That some people migrated.
Is that what was it?
People migrated, yes, from the southeast.
Yeah, southeast, yes.
These are the two words he used.
Yeah.
That made him got the backlash. That made people start
migrated
from the southeast.
What's wrong in saying somebody migrated?
That if you study English language, very well.
Do you want to tell me?
So,
what immigrants? When Americans, these are immigrants,
are not citizens.
They are not citizens
of that country.
Immigrants, you migrated from one state to another. Yeah, right.
Immigrants.
We are talking regional now. We are talking regional now. You migrated from one region to another.
An immigrant is not a citizen.
You migrated within the country. That guy has not said anything wrong.
I'm not saying that.
Except you want to tribalize it.
No, let's understand.
Except you want to
what is an
tribalize
immigrant? Who is an immigrant?
Except you want to
Who is an
tribalize
immigrant?
it. He said they migrated from east down to west.
I'm not.
No. You take him to court.
Who is an immigrant?
You take him to court. What he said is standing, and you take him to court.
I'm not against that.
You are sacking him. You are sacking. You this tribal bigot. I say the man has said it, and he has said it. Go and
I know you have said it. You have said it.
So don't put that.
No, I want you to tell me who an
immigrant is. Don't put me on that spot, man. Don't put me on that spot. Immigrant is an immigrant. What happened? Nothing happened. You guys are just too much blackmailers.
What's your advice on the election? Comes the next.
That is what you should be asking me.
You have like few days to the election.
President talks, say some people move from one region to another and start. What is that not double registration? And he said it loud and clear. You want to double register? You can't just be selling voodoo and be blackmailing people on voodoo. The voodoo business yourself. You go. You don't know anything that you are saying, sir. Not be yam. It's not yam you are pricing here. It's not yam you are pricing. It's not yam you are pricing. You know, and Obaseki is waiting for you to rehabilitate you. Obaseki is waiting. Obaseki is waiting for you to rehabilitate you. Lucky Obaseki is waiting for you to rehabilitate you. Go away, you don't talk. Let me talk my word.
What's your advice on like the election?
The election is.
You look at it going to be free and fair. Look at it, what is people is doing now.
Definitely. If you have been, you have been scared, or you have been in a patensive mode that the election is going to be tough, or it's going to be crisis. This election is going to be
free and fair. Free and fair to me. Because nobody has any hidden intention to rig or to do anything. It's people that want to rig that are crying loud now. Like this man now, I know he's one of the riggers for the PDP. Because you always hang out. They are sharing money for them now in PDP. Are you going to PDP secretariat today to beg money? Are you going to PDP secretariat to beg money? Look at them. They are the ones collecting money. When they collect money finish, they will start complaining.
That's $16 billion he collected.
He shared inside now. No,
that's why I have liked again.
Again, yes, sir. They said PDP shared the dollars then. I know this guy then. I knew him. He was always with money, dollars. He says PDP dollars. And he has started it again. You see him hanging out in the PDP head of PDP office. In what's it called? You see him there. You know where my board wrote? You know where my board very well? You know, I don't know it. That's where you see this man. Just go there in the next 1 hour. You see him hanging out, collecting money, looking for money to collect. You know, these are the people spoiling the youth.
No, the
minister of Yam. These are the people killing. You know, they are the one killing youth destiny. They will try and collect money, collect their future for the next 8 years again. Bro,
who can start
go and collect it again. Collect your destiny for 8 years again. Collect your destiny for 8 years again. Every Nigeria you go every day. Go collect. Go collect. Go away, man.
Sorry. If Papa they talk yesterday, the whole of me no
your money.
You want people they whole
of collect it. 8 years. 8 years. You don't get man to talk. You go collect money from.
I don't know if Lagos. Wait, Mr. Kule. I don't know if Lagos is such a shameless man. He comes here every day to support PDP. PDP that led us to this turmoil that we have today. They laid a very terrible foundation for us.
I never mentioned
you understand?
PDP now.
I
never mentioned PDP.
We know him today, PDP spokesman. All right? We know that he lives by PDP philosophy. So anything that comes off his mouth, if you take him serious, I am sorry for you. Let me tell you something. I think every day we should appreciate APC. There are some things that APC has been able to do to revolutionize the
APC as in the Buhari government.
Yes. Okay, Buhari government happens to be the first APC on seat. Right? And I think we should appreciate it. They have been able to revolutionize our politics in this country. They have been able to awaken everybody's consciousness. For the fact that they approved these beavers. For the fact that they approved beavers to be used for elections. They have been able to change everything about election. They have been able to take away ballot snatching and ballot stuffing. Don't take that away from them.
They have not been able to take away election rigging.
Election rigging has been able to be minimized. Nobody ever told you that corruption will go to zero. Yeah. But for them to take that drastic decision, because let me tell you, if they were to be a PDP would never today approve beavers. PDP has been on, they were on seat.
PDP did accreditation.
They did accreditation. So how did accreditation stop ballot snatching? How did it stop ballot stuffing? You know, I shared a story here. I told you 2014, 2015, I was a presiding officer in Niger State, one of the remotest villages. I was bribed and I collected it because I had no choice. The police that was supposed to secure me was up about 10 kilometers away. I saw him eating rice and beans. I had no choice than to collect the money because if I don't collect it, they were going to kill me. Now, let me tell you something. That was under duress. I collected the money under duress because I had no choice. Do you understand? But as of today, if you snatch the beavers, you cannot access the beavers without a facial recognition of that.
So what happened in Osun State?
In Osun State, INEC itself can fetch out that person in charge of that beavers.
So the beavers can be manipulated? It
can be manipulated only with the assistance of an insider. Yeah. And that is where corruption will now start being perpetuated. We must understand that corruption does not happen. It's not an inanimate object. It is someone, now person go like this, go and perpetuate corruption. Do you understand? This is why you will see Atiku will tell you that I am going to raise $10 billion. They asked him, how will you? He said he was going to sell all the refineries that we have. Then we are going to end up being a country that doesn't have any federal assets.
Do we have any refineries as of now?
As of now, we have refineries, but they are not functional. We have refineries. Listen.
Almost 8 years.
Those refineries, who spoil them? Under which watch? Under whose watch? Okay. Under whose watch the refinery spoiled? Who had more money? Who had more money? PDP had more money for 16 freaking years. They did not go through COVID. Okay, everybody don't forget so COVID happened. Everybody don't forget, say Russia they fight now. Everybody don't forget, say oil price, it dropped from $100, it dropped down to $30. And we are dependent on oil. Okay, now, why? Because he doesn't speak, he doesn't talk. Everybody don't forget, say, we went through all this hardship. Just last year, we saw flood. Flood that destroyed thousands and millions of hectares of lands. Listen, what do you think is going to happen when floods come and take away all the hectares of land? All the rice will be say, if I ask this one, what do you go chop? You go say na rice. If I ask this one, what do you go chop? You go say na rice. Now water don't carry all the rice go. What's going to happen? The few rice will remain. What do you think is going to happen? The rice is going to be expensive. All right. Now this brings me back. This brings me back to Lagos State. Did you see the news? Jide Sanwo-Olu he said we are setting up food banks. We are setting up food banks. Let us alleviate hunger. That is in Lagos State. And I'm telling you that other states will follow suit. They will follow suit.
Are you not looking at the timing?
Listen, if he had done it last year, if he had done it, the flood started having impact on us early this year. And we are just in February. All right? Now, this policy, what you should be asking me is, will this policy, will it still stand after election? If they bring this policy now, and post-election, they do continue, then you tell me that, okay, they are only doing this for political gain. The point is, let us be sensible. Okay, they brought this policy that we are setting up food banks so that we can meet people halfway. You that you cannot buy rice, come and collect 1 derica of rice.
Man.
They can go chop. You know the crowd. You do know how the crowd will be. You know the funniest thing. Some greedy Nigerians that can still afford to buy 1 derica of rice, they will go and still collect.
Okay, let's talk about the naira policy. We don't have much time. Supreme Court's order and what the central bank governor said.
The naira policy is a rubbish policy. You know why? A policy is as good as its implementation. It's as simple as that. If you tell me, say,
you're talking like a technical person. No.
Listen, you want me to talk like a senseless person?
No. Technical.
A policy is as good as its implementation. If you tell me, say, you want to give me money, all right, and for me to collect the money, you understand? I have to shave my head. I have to cut my ear. I have to cut my hand. I've lost all the vital parts of my body. At the end of the day, you know, then hold your money. There are so many ways to implement things. All right? India, 2016, also wanted to go with this policy. There was serious uproar in India.
They gave 12 hours.
I think they even gave, was it 12 hours or 12 days? India, whether 12 days or so.
12 hours.
No, their one wasn't 12 hours. 12 days or so. They had to review it. There was serious, they had to review it. They wanted to take away major rupees, major denomination. They have to review it. We are asking, most of us are not saying that this policy was never good. But a CBN governor that has access to a larger database, you know, this is the number of banks that I have. Did you ask yourself, what are the current corruption going on in the banking industry? As of today now, we are aware that the banking industry is so corrupt. We've always known, but it was never exposed. This policy came further to expose it. Now, is CBN governor going to tell me that he doesn't know that it's corruption? Does CBN governor want to tell me that he doesn't know that they have always been selling 200 naira meat notes? Before this policy, when last you see new 200 naira notes, you don't go see it. You only go to party, you see it. Now, the CBN governor wants to tell me that he doesn't know that. Now, he brought a policy. He never put into consideration all those loopholes, and he's calling himself an economic guru. Everybody is saying that MFN is the worst CBN governor. People are complaining. They are saying that it's APC issue. Fine.
But we have the Labour Party presidential candidates saying a different thing and PDP from what the APC
Let me tell you, Labour Party is also blaming their implementation policy. He said the policy is good, but they should do what? Expedite the money to get to people's hands. What does that mean? The policy. Implementation. If you say you want to do something and you don't have good action plans to follow up, then you are as good as doing nothing. You are good as doing nothing. They brought the policy to confuse us. The plan was not well thought through. They didn't think it through very well. You understand? So I'm going to say that our policy is absolutely rubbish, and it's going to be reversed by the grace of God, because as of today, the Supreme Court has suspended it. If I give you old money,
Look
collect
at
am.
confusion
Go and
as
spend
bank
it.
insists on today's deadline.
Oh, confusion. When Supreme Court, let them
Are the
say,
banks working?
Supreme Court has told them that they should do what? They should suspend the deadline as is
But the
suspended.
banks are not working.
The banks are not working. Most of the banks are saying they don't even have the money. Most of the
They can open for you to return.
okay, I return it. If I have to collect my money, what should happen? What will happen? I return the old note. Okay, give me new note. You tell me you don't have. There's a, listen, as we are in Nigeria, our attitude, we have been so fixated on cash transactions.
Yeah.
We have been so
We'll
fixated.
take like
Listen,
30,
if I give
40 years.
you 2,000 naira today, do you know how you're going to spend it? You're going back to your office, you spend maybe 400. You go chop Eba and Oha, maybe like 700. How much is gone? 1/4. You have 600 naira left. Maybe you saw a beggar, you gave him 100 naira. How much do you have left? 500. Now imagine you don't have cash on you. Okay, you enter bus. Do you know time is gonna? You know what's gonna happen? If this thing is not reversed now, the time of consummating a transaction will be longer. Because
So are you advising me to hold on to my old naira notes?
hold on to your old naira note. Hold on to your old naira note. Our money is still tenable. As a matter of fact, old naira note is still a legal tender in accordance to the Supreme Court verdict.
No, the Supreme Court said stop.
He said suspend. He said suspend the deadline. They have suspended the deadline. Abi, are you not aware?
I'm aware.
Are you not in
They
Nigeria?
have said a broadcast by Mifele yesterday says that they are going to continue on the deadline.
I know, but Emefiele, as far as we are concerned, is a non-entity.
Central Bank governor.
Baba, Emefiele, as far as we are concerned, Emefiele is aware that Zenith Bank is shut down and he cannot sanction them. People's money are there. They cannot access Zenith Bank.
We are not complaining.
Internet banking, Zenith Bank is not working.
We are not complaining.
Some selfish Nigerians are saying that the policy should remain because of their own political gain. Because they want everybody to hate APC.
Because I'm thinking along that line.
You get, because some people are even ready to starve themselves, starve their children, all because they believe
Has ABC tried?
APC has tried infrastructure and security wise. I must say that they have tried in infrastructure and they have tried in security. You cannot take that away from them. You cannot take that away from them. Economically, I've always said it that they were not the best. They didn't do well. All right? The NASA, that's the Nigerian intervention, whatever that they did. The NASA funds that they shared. And then the anchor borrowers that they gave to farmers. All those, and then the trader money Oshibanjo did. These are things, these are good policies that would have helped to take away poverty on ground. But corruption swallowed it. Corruption was swallowed it. Anybody that comes in, one of the things is going to tackle first of all is what? Corruption and insecurity. Insecurity by APC has been down to at least 70%. Those days in PDP, everybody was on rampage. Everybody could not sleep. Nobody sleeps with both eyes open. Borno now, you now have social activities going on in Borno, Maiduguri, which used to be the headquarters of Boko Haram.
Bani is not complaining. They are giving them money. New money.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
I love.
Tell your papa to release the money for body now, so that I can leave this house, please. Let them hear it.
Yeah. Good morning, Alaji. My Alaji. Please come close to the mic. Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Yeah, we have the federal government, we have the CBN, we have the state governors, and we have other political parties on this naira policy.
From the one, we all know that in Nigeria, it is the issue of those who are in power in one way or the other that control the destiny of this country. You know the word I use? In one way or the other. Is either those who hold the economy of the country, who are ready to make everybody to suffer, or those who are in government, who had want everybody to suffer. Are you getting me? An average Nigerian that you see, anything that fall into his own side, he will want to make sure somebody who is beside him suffer for it because that thing is in his hand. An average Nigerian. An average Nigerian will make sure anything that fall into his own hand, if it is his own, is in control. He want to make sure whosoever is beside him suffer for it. I haven't seen it for long, but with this naira policy now, made me to even understand that even POS vendors are even worse than the central government. Are you getting me? This is a common man that we live together in our own area together. Are you getting me? Because the money is not circulating, when you come to him, he's still going to give you that toilet roll. Because I call the old money now to be toilet roll. I don't even have it. If you see me, I don't have 1 naira with me. I've not been holding any currency now. Until I see it is flowing, I will go with it. I don't go to bank. I will not suffer myself. God have given me that. God has endowed me on that. I have not been complaining, and I will never complain. Are you getting me? It is endowment. I thank Almighty God for that. So where you see people rushing, I don't rush. See what is in my pocket. I'm going to the mosque. When it's time for me to eat, I will eat it. When I finish, I come back home. Are you getting me? I program myself. I don't want government to program me. Nigerians want government. They program themselves under government. That is why things are like this. People are waiting for government in everything they are doing. What did you really yourself want? Until you know what you want, I've been saying it several times, not until you discover who you are and what you want. Then you're not struggling, you now look for that thing that you want, and that thing is achievable. Are you getting me now? Is there any political party in Nigeria? No. No. There's no political party in Nigeria. Who are those who are running the political parties? The same people changing their names? Falling from PDP, go to APC. If you have problem with APC, you go back to PDP. If you have problem from PDP, you go back to APC. Are they doing it because of people, or they are doing it because of themselves? The policies they are having, they are not having the policies of the masses. I wonder why the masses are killing themselves. We fail to understand. I've been saying it several times, even on this platform. I've said it several times. Not until you don't see me as a Muslim, you see me as a human being. Not until you don't see me as a Yoruba man, you see me as a human being. Not until you feel the way you are feeling thirsty, that's the way I'm also feeling thirsty. As I'm feeling hungry, that's the way you are feeling hungry. We'll be able to unite within ourselves and look for how to get the water we want to drink and how to get the food we want to eat. Are you getting me? But in as much as you allow somebody to be controlling your brain, to be telling you that this man is bad, that man is bad, you are hungry, he will not make you go closer to somebody that is going to give you food to eat. Because that is exactly what he wants. Are you getting me? If we are talking of, I'm sorry, I'm talking from the background. If you are talking of Nigerians, if only sincerely the way we are calling God, it is inside our own heart. For now, we could have get all what it takes in changes in this country. But even our relationship with our own self is bad. Our own relationship with our own self is bad. Somebody want to buy food, is not economizing what he want to put into his own system. Give me, make I just eat for eating sake. It's not eating it for what he's going to do in his system. Are you getting me? So the problem is we start from us, ourselves first. That I used to say, in Nigeria, we are blessed. There is no average Nigerian that you go to their family that you will not see that somebody is having 1 or 2 cars. Average Nigerian that you see in Nigeria that he will go back to his family, from his family background, they don't see somebody that has a car or 2 or more. And they still have somebody who is still carrying pure water on the head, selling. Is not ready to give her, he or she, from what he has, instead of piling down those cars to empower somebody from his own house. Are you getting me? Tomorrow he will be the first person to be reading newspaper before all his family to tell you this government is very bad. Are you getting me? While his own government in his own house is not controlling it. That's what I see. It is our issues. It starts from us.
Let's talk about the elections. Do you have any favorites that you're going to vote for?
My brother in Nigeria, if I say I want to vote for somebody, are you getting me? Do I say it should be my conscience? If I say I'm going for some person, it's like I'm campaigning for somebody. I'm not campaigning for any one of them. Because Tinubu Tinubu is dead on arrival for Nigerians. Are you getting me? It's dead. Dead on arrival. My brother, the day where I go face you well, no be online like this. You dey pass my office, me and you go talk am. Because when they talk, where you go, they say, because you say, if I dey talk, when they please say, you see they holler me. I know the person where you feel holler. I'm on a national platform. So you don't come from my behind and you abuse me and you run away. When I get to, I track you down. This is me for you, Zubair Mohammed Taufik. Watch me very well. I fear no man. It's better you let him watch it. Tell them to watch their language. Let them watch their language. So that's that. I say dead on arrival. Are you getting me? And I have all what it takes as a fact in it. What is wrong with Nigerians? Are we mad? Is our brain sleeping? It can never wake up for one day. You spend all the time of your life sending your child to school, to go and do everything because he wants to become something. Somebody of 90 years is telling you that you've wasted your own money. It is him at 90 years that is ready to become a president. When exactly are the youth going to have their own freedom in this country? Check all the set of the people who want to run Nigeria a little bit. I am sorry. I'm not campaigning. In other ramification, if it is the only these three parties that we are talking of, we have more. But let's say if it is these three parties that you are seeing, why don't you go for Obi? You can go for Obi because of three things. Are you getting me? Let me go and vote for Obi because he's a Christian. Let me prove to them that there is no difference between religion and non-religion. Let me go and vote for Obi to show that he is my brother. It's not because I'm a Yoruba, it's an Igbo. Humanitarian. Let's make ourselves to oneness. Are you talking of Atiku? Nothing. He doesn't belong here. From day one. Go and check history of this country. Most of those who have made name in this country, that have turned this country upside down, most of them are bastards. Are you getting me? Most of them are bastards. Bring them back now. Let's say let us start from their origin. Come and tell us your lineage. Where do you come from? Let's start from Tinubu.
So we have
I said most. If you want, I can give that to you. I don't fear no man. Are you getting me? So like what I'm saying now is that Yoruba people used to call you this guy. He knows it's a son child on my lineage. Do you know why they say it? If he's doing something that doesn't go fine with his own family. Are you getting me? So if I call them bastard, I'm not wrong for calling them bastard because they are not doing what they need to do for Nigerians. They are brothers. Okay. So that is a sign of bastard. Okay,
thank you very much, Alaji, for your contributions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
With that, we have come to the end of the program this morning. Yeah. Oluwa, where's Oluwa?
He's part of the cabal. That man is part of the cabal. That man is part
of the one person, Oluwa.
See Kule brother, not Kule now.
Okay.
Kule.
With that, we have come to the end of the program this morning. Partisan Newsstands, I'm Christian Chuku. Yes, till tomorrow for another exciting edition. Thanks for watching. Please click on the like button this morning. Click on the like button. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Kule the fear the man. Kule the fear. He said, Kule, if you talk, I'll knock you to do. Kule, he finish you. He finish you. Doctor, when you say why you talk? Why you talk when you there? See, you see, I like this Alaji today. Alaji spoke very well. And Kule always make noise. He said, Kule, if you talk, I will knock you something. I will knock you back up. Kule cannot talk, but the man is here. Now, after the man left, Kule is coming here to brag. Talk, Kule. I will call him now. I will call Alaji. Alaji,